Hello and welcome back to the Drive Formula podcast. My name is Marcus Williams. This is Eric Lichty, the brains behind the Drive Formula. Today we are going to be taking a deep dive into Chapter 5 of the book, Driving Engagement. So if you haven't got a copy of the book yet, please go out and purchase it. You can buy it online and follow along. It's a short book, but you're able to take notes and highlight and everything from the comments that we've made today, and it would be really helpful. So the format, we've been releasing a chapter, and then the following week we release a deep dive into that chapter. So again, you can go back and start with Chapter 1 and work your way up. This is Chapter 5 and our deep dive into that chapter. So let's jump right into it. This chapter is about finding the key, and there's a lot of different aspects to it, and we were actually just talking about it before we started on where we wanted to go, and there's just so much to talk about. What is the key to your success as a business owner? What is the key to your business's success? How do you get clients? How do you get customers? But most importantly, what is the key to your employees? What is their key that really turns them on to be engaged and productive workers?
And I love this chapter. I mean, I love every chapter because it makes it very easy to comprehend because it's something we do every day. We drive a car. But imagine if you had different keys. Like my key ring is massive. I have so many different cars. I'm a car guy, but each car has a different key to it. Each employee is actually an individual. I was talking to somebody the other day that he literally said, I am just a number. He was a manager of a very large credit card company, and he was the leader of the division in the state, and he went to quit, and they literally just said, well, do you know who a good replacement would be? And I'm just like, wow, really? And
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, and he did a great job. He's like, my culture in the local thing was awesome. But I just felt like a number. I could never get past it, and all it was a number. I wasn't a human being.
They never found his key.
No. And so they could have retained him. He was there for 10 plus years, and they never had a problem. Mm-hmm. This goes back to me when I was at the corrections. They never had a problem with my area, but they never gave me any idea or any communication on how to lead me, and that I was doing a good job.
Yeah. And I mean, think about why would someone want to work for you? Like, what do you offer that none of your competitors do? Is it your location? Do you just happen to be the only game in town, or you happen to be in a place that's a great place to live? Is it your culture? Is it your pay is so far above the competitors? Is it the benefits package? You know, why do people want to work for you? And there are websites out there where applicants will look and see, is this a good place to work? And really the only people who even post on those are the negative. People want to post negative. So you can really easily learn all the negative things about a company before you apply. So think about that. Why do people want to work to you? What do you bring to the employees? And I think in the past, probably, the tech era really is, there's been this shift in the 9-to-5 culture to project-based. And with that, they've tried to bring in employees through changing their culture, offering these quirks or benefits or things that aren't necessarily important. Like, and we've talked about this before, but like foosball tables and ping pong tables and free lunch and free dinner and a gym and all that. Great. I mean, that's nice. It's a bonus. It's a bonus, shiny object. But is that really the key to having an engaged employee? Like, is that a reason why someone would stay? And I think that's the question you ask when, and we talk about this in the chapter, when things get tough, are they going to take off? Or are they going to stay because they know, is it worth the time and effort to fix the problem to stay because you have their key? They want to work for you. Or, there are people that as soon as their car, a light comes on in their car, they sell it and buy a new car. They're not willing to fix it. And there's others that, like my father-in-law, who will drive a car for 500,000 miles. Which company are you?
Yeah, and that's the big part about this whole section is what are you doing to get to know your employees and what drives them, helps them to be engaged. It's a very simple concept, and it's human nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're going to a work environment that you're spending 70% of your day, and to not feel appreciated, to not be known, to be just a number. Do people really want that? Would they rather just have the money and go home and spend it? And I wouldn't. I want people to know me. I want the job environment to be helping. I mean, that's what a secure work environment is, that everybody gets along, everybody is willing to help one another. And as a boss, you have a key. There's another aspect to this that you can turn that back off at night for work life balance. I had a customer text me the other night that by chance has my phone number at 9:30 at night on Sunday. I'm like, are you kidding me? Don't let them have their time. Their time away is super important. That is their lives. Their whole life is not about them working for you. They have lives otherwise. They have personalities. They have aspirations, hobbies. Do you know any of that as a leader? Is that important to know? Absolutely, because that means that you can lead them better and figure out what kind of vehicle they are.
Right. Like you could supply bicycles for them to ride to work and have health initiatives, but what if someone hates riding bikes?
Yeah.
You're not reaching that person. You're only reaching one segment. And we quote a survey, the Phillips Work-Life Survey, that says 68% of working Americans would take a salary cut in order to stay in a job that basically where they can pursue their personal interest, where they actually have a personal interest or engagement in their job. So money is not the driving factor in the workforce. It's important, of course. Yeah. You have to pay the bills in order to do the things you want to do, but it's not the driving factor. That's not the primary key for most of your employees. Maybe some people it is, but it's, according to the survey, it's not the primary key. And that key is different for everyone. Just like the bicycle example. I think another great example is during this kind of tech cultural shift, they went to this open concept workspace and it was supposed to be collaborative. It was supposed to be everyone is together, working together, and facing each other at these tables, and they can bounce ideas out in this whole collaborative. There are people that cannot function in that kind of environment. No. Like I would hate that. In fact, I did. In all the offices I've been in, the one I hated the most was the one I was in a cubicle, open air cubicle, where I could hear everything going on at once. I could list all these conversations happening. People, that's not my preference. So you forcing people into this and saying it's great. Well, yeah, maybe some people thrive. The funny thing is it's come out that those collaborative office environments really aren't that effective because people just end up socializing instead of working. But one person it may work for, someone else it may not. So does it really hurt you to get the most productivity from your employee to give them an office space where they can be the most productive? If employee A needs a more private space, is it really going to hurt you in the long run to give them that private space? It may cost a little bit up front, but if you're going to get 10 years of productivity out of that person, it's worth it. Or you could toss them into an open workspace. They work for you for a year, and then you have to retrain someone in a year because they can't. That's not their key. They can't work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got my master's degree in 2020. I was diagnosed with ADHD in my early 20s. I dropped out of high school when I was in 9th grade. I couldn't work very well. I never was able to train myself to work in a student open office that way. Is that why I dropped out? I don't think so. I just never learned to adapt. But as time went on, I figured out, I don't like ADHD medicine. I like to be creative. I'm a very high functioning ADHD. And so through my bachelor's degree, I had to take it. But through my master's degree, I learned that if I put on the right music, had noise canceling headphones, and made my workspace, certain things in certain areas, I thrived, and I graduated with a straight 4.0.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it within a year. But I love the aspect of social as well. But if I really need to get something done, I need to go and be solace, be in an environment that I create. That's where I can do my best computer work. But that's me. Everybody has their little things, and it's okay that
Right.
as a leader, you can't go in and say, you know what, you're going to just do this, and you're going to have to like it. I've got a good friend that he said, I want to have freedom to be able to do my job in a certain way. He went and talked to his employer. They hired him. They gave him training for 6 months. And out of the training, they said, nope, this is the exact way you have to do it. He's like, I interviewed and I asked specifically to do this. Nope, this is the way that you have to do it. He instantly quit. 6 months.
That's a lot of money down the drain and
Yeah.
time and training. It's crazy. The managers, for some reason, it's like this magic thing. As soon as you become a leader or manager, especially in human resources. So if you're an HR person, sorry, but it's true. Your immediate response to any suggestion is, we can't do that. Sorry, we can't do that. Sorry, that's not how we do it. Sorry, that's not the way we work. Why? Why can't you do it? And when you ask that question, they get all flustered and they get all upset, right? Because I've asked that before. Why not? Well, the reason is because there is no reason why not. It takes a little bit of effort and work. That's why not. And they don't want to have to put in that effort and work. When that effort and work is going to pay dividends in the future. So ask yourself that. If someone comes to you and asks and says, hey, can I work here, or can I do it this way, or I would be much more effective if I did it this way, or I have this great idea that could fix this productivity issue, stop saying, but this is the way we've always done it. Stop saying I can't. Ask yourself, why not? Why? If this is going to be effective, why not do it? It's only going to help you.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this in my next book, but your growth to fixed mindset. As a leader, as a HR, you really need to look at a growth mindset. Instead of saying I can't, which is a fixed mindset, say, let's think about it. Let's do some trials and see. It'll be amazing if you give your employees a little bit of freedom to control and direct their environments. How much more productive are they going to be? Because you let them have that direction. And what does it hurt? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what you are supposed to be as a leader. You're supposed to look at every opportunity to be able to have your employees grow. If you try to control them, I know somebody that just did they call it a spread layoff. Every area got laid off, one person, and they didn't do any type of studies. They just went in and said, okay, there's one person from every area that's just getting laid off. No rhyme or reason, no study about it. And now everybody is feeling very insecure in that organization.
Yeah.
And so...
And we're making the assumption that you're hiring the right person for the job, that your hiring process is a good one and effective. So if you've done that and you've hired the best applicant, the right person for the job, it behooves you to make them successful, help them be successful by finding their key. And the only way you can find their key is if you actually care.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that's the biggest problem with the ping pong table, and because those take no effort. You don't care. Those are things you're throwing platitudes at them, but you're not actually caring about them. You're not getting to know them on an individual level. And you may be a CEO, so you can't get to know all your people, but your line managers can.
They should.
That's their job, is to get to know their people and their team. And so you get that input. Learn from them what you need to happen. You actually have to care, and they know if you care or not. If you throw a benefit at them that's not a real benefit, they know you don't care. A great example we mentioned in the book is the unlimited PTO. That's one of the biggest farces in employment history ever, because it sounds so good. It's that dollar bill that you tie a string to and you pull it along the sidewalk as someone chases it. No one who has unlimited PTO ever gets to use it. Every single study shows that those people actually take less time off. And I've talked to people about it, and they said the reason why is because the pressure, when they ask for the time off, they get pressured into saying you're leaving your team in a lurch. We can't afford to have you leave. Can you wait till this project is over? So they'll wait till the project is over before they take their time off. And then when they get back, the team has started a new project, and guess what? They're no longer on the team because the team started without them. So then they never take time off. And when you think about who it benefits, it's the employer, because they don't have to pay their guaranteed time off. They don't have that. So that's a lesser cost. And if you quit and retire, they don't have to reimburse you for unused days. It's 100% a fraud that saves the employer money, but they sell it as this great benefit. Look, you can take all the time off you want because we care about you and your family. It's a lie. And people, you learn that immediately once you start the job, that they don't actually care about you. This is to help them, not you.
Yeah. So as leaders, treat people as individuals and not numbers. That's not really fair to the people that are the working class that actually have spent years trying to be the best at what they can be. Treat them as individuals. It's not all numbers. And it's amazing the amount of production you'll get out of it and the caring. Because as a leader, can you honestly go in and do their job? No. You turn that key, you turn them on, you give them the abilities to have their own environment to really thrive. Let them thrive. Mm-hmm. Treat people as individuals. That's where it all boils down to.
And on the flip side, as an employee, which we all are, no matter where you are in the hierarchy, you're an employee, you have to know your own personal key. Like if you prefer driving a pickup truck, you don't go out and buy a sedan. You won't be happy. So you don't go and apply for a job, a pickup truck job, if you're a sedan driver or vice versa. So you have to know your key as well, because how can you communicate? How does your manager learn your key if you can't communicate to him or her what it is, right? So what drives you, what motivates you, what engages you, and then be willing to share that.
Yeah, not confrontational. Don't get defensive.
Right.
Just simply say, you know what? I really thrive in an environment that I could do this. Could we make a compromise? Come to them with a solution, right, not just a problem.
Right. Yeah. Hey boss, I noticed there's this empty office nobody's using. I would be much more productive in a private space. Do you mind if maybe 4 hours a day I can use that office? Why not?
Yeah.
Right? They'll never know. Or you could just sit and complain. You could be negative and complain to all of your coworkers and say, they don't give me anything I need. I hate it here. Well, if you've never asked, you've never communicated your keys, they don't know what they are. It's not their fault.
As a leader, you can also direct them to be able to do this by simply asking, okay, if you're going to come up to me with a problem, you are the one that is actually in this area. You have all the information. I don't as a leader. Come to me with 3 solutions. Let's see what we can do. So as a leader, you have to spur that conversation on as well. And you totally can direct it. You can get defensive, or you could be, willing to serve and say, okay, let's see. If somebody's complaining, there is a reason. Hey, that's a great concern. Now let's see if you can come up with 3 different solutions so you as a leader can be a part of it. But hey, you just learned that, you just empowered them to be able to control and direct their situation.
Right. I worked
in the environment.
I worked for a company that had a lot of different areas, and we were kind of expected to be knowledgeable in all of those areas, but we gained expertise in maybe 1 or 2 of them. So we could be functional in all of them, but experts in 1 or 2. So at one point I got transferred to one of those positions, and I was supposed to be functional in it, and but I was not an expert because I didn't enjoy that part of the job. I didn't have any desire or interest in it. And so I went to my boss and I said, look, I could do this job, There's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to take me time to become the expert that you want me to be, because that's not where I've focused my career. I could do it, but there's a line of people that want this position and would love to have it. And I know you have an opening in my expertise as well. So why don't you switch us? Put me where I'm going to be the most effective for you and the happiest, because it's my expertise, and put this guy who is miserable and wants my job in my seat. And it took some time because they had to
process their
mind.
Right.
I don't know why, because it was an easy fix. It could have happened in a day, but they had to kind of admit that they hadn't made a wise decision in the first place. But they finally did it, and lo and behold,
yeah,
I was much more effective, and they got a better product for the paycheck they were paying me because I was in the right position, a position that where, that's where my key was. So it took me going to them. Otherwise, I could have stayed in that job for 2 years and just been mediocre at it, and nothing would have happened.
Mm-mm. So this whole chapter is about communication, organization, and showing appreciation. Simple communication has a lot to do with body language. It has a lot with what people are saying, sometimes on what they're not saying. If they're coming up and complaining to you about environment, start asking questions. Start really diving deep into it to try and figure out why they're not productive. People, as leaders, we have to be more patient to understand what our employees need. But don't we want them to do their job? And don't we want them to create us to create the right environment to help them to thrive and to run at an efficient level? We expect our car to do that every day, as our car does, as long as we keep it full of fuel and keep it maintained. But, we had a car come in yesterday that was 4.5 quarts low on oil, and it took 5 quarts. And he's like, it's got a tick, and it's got...
You think?
Yeah. I was talking to him. I'm like, you were out of oil, and it just about died. But don't push your employees to that level. That's burnout, and that's not nice. I mean, you're paying them to do a job, yes. But if you don't create the right environments, they won't do it productively, and they shouldn't.
And you're going to make more money if your employees are productive.
Yeah.
Period. So,
but you have to look at it at a different aspect and not have it as a number, not treat them as a number. We're all individuals, and we're all human beings that have personalities, that have feelings, that want to really thrive. We want to go in and do a great job, but we need the leader's support. Yeah. We need HR support to look at us constructively as a human being.
Yeah. So, care and ask why not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. All right, that's our deep dive into Chapter 5. Hope you got something out of that. Again, if you have the book, you can go home and make notes in it and highlight different sections and go back and read it again. So you can purchase it on Amazon or other major book retailers. So Driving Engagement by Eric Lichty and Marcus Williams. All right, next episode will be the reading of Chapter 6. So subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when there's a new episode, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening or watching.